Prepare for battle.
Are you kidding me? Are you lost?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Time for Liquid versus Alliance to start the day off here in Leipzig. I'm ODPixel, joined by Cinderin for this beautiful series. And Sind, we're seeing some interesting stuff. We've got that strong opening from Alliance, the Gyro IO, and it's sort of ended up in a draft where Liquid have said this is the time once again to bring in the Brood. The question is, how scared are Alliance going to be of this Brood pick?
I don't know. It seemed like it caught them a little bit off guard just from their facial expressions, but I think the solution that they grabbed here in the Magnus is going to be completely fine. As the panel was talking about, you could have absolutely put the Beastmaster mid and got a different side laner, but I think you want to play to your strengths, and maybe Limp doesn't like Beastmaster very much, or doesn't like playing side lanes as much compared to, like, I feel like Limp has played mid every game this tournament. Other teams have been a little more flexible with moving their cores around to play different lanes, but Alliance are very clearly sticking to a script, and I mean, it's got them this far, right? So
certainly, and you know, obviously the Brood pick, as you say, they picked it. Alliance, they've got some answers to it. What do you think the game plan is from Liquid with this? Like, how does sort of that pairing of these two cores work out, having this Brood and Morph? Like what are the timings these heroes are going to enable for one another?
I've seen different Brood builds. I would say lately the Midas has kind of fallen out of favor. In the past, you would go Midas, Ags, and then a combat item. I think Koikva will go for a more aggressive approach. He's already queued up an early Medallion and Soul Ring, so I think we might see the Medallion into Diffusal perhaps, and then go early fighting. Because it's a valid concern. Like, if both Brood and Morphling need 15 to 20 minutes build-up time, you can lose the map to this Alliance lineup. It can play relatively fast. So yeah, I would like to see a combat Brood. Maybe this is the kind of game again where Mickey goes for a first item Ethereal Blade, and you try to fight early on.
Yeah, we've seen some great Morphling performances here on the main stage so far, some excellent E-Blade timings. We'll see if Mickey's able to bring out another one of those. Down bottom against that duo off the Gyro, we will have Boxy on the Mars, Tiger Willow. These heroes, they are going to have that insane team fight combo that's going to allow them to make a lot of plays as it comes down to it. But at the same time, Alliance, they will have that save potential, right? Anytime that combo is going to be used, as long as Hansken's ready to tether in, it's not going to be that easy for Liquid to blow up the heroes in that combo.
Yeah, there's a lot of counterplay, actually. It's not only the relocate, it's also a thing about Mars when he initiates fights is it's extremely telegraphed and very kind of one-dimensional the way fights work. You put down an arena, you're fighting in this arena. Well, if Magnus isn't in it, there's the possibility of blinking in and RPing. Maybe you can catch the Morph or the Brood. And let's not forget, Brood as a hero in teamfights, if the Spiderlings are not particularly good, which is the case in this game, there's Flak Cannon, Beastmaster, and Cleave from Mag, you need a BKB to hit heroes, and guess what? You're playing against RP and Roar. There are definitely problems. Overall, I would say I kind of favor Alliance just based on overall draft in this game, because I think what Liquid needs to do in fights is pretty complicated, actually, to execute. But let's see when they get started. I think the most important thing is get a good game on Mars. He needs to set the tempo of this one.
So far in that bottom lane, pretty much a little bit of a lead for Boxy. They're 8-for-4 against the 6-for-2. The wave's going to be pushed in, and obviously once Nico Baby starts to get those levels, there'll be the chance for him to be a bit more aggressive with the backup of Hansken. But for now, again, they'll make a bit of an attempt onto him here. They do spear him back to the tree. It's a lot of damage, not enough. Every time Hansken will be there, ready to heal Nico Baby back up.
Send out a fresh salve as well, so he'll be back to pretty much full health here.
And on this top lane, Mickey, it's not feeling under too much pressure really from this duo of 33 and Fada. And Sania was seen being doing a great job at chasing the Lich away, making sure that Mickey hasn't got to deal with that constant harass with the blast. And the mid lane matchup, very, very much even. Limp 21-for-5 against the 20-for-1. So able to push in, keep the spider. Koifa forced to hang around that mid lane, otherwise Koifa's going to risk taking a fair bit of damage to that tier 1 if Limp does continue to push in the lane as much as he has been able to do so.
And the logic in this mid matchup is both heroes kind of want to push out the wave and then go and take an additional jungle camp. So there will be a lot of heroes not in the lane.
And here we have top. They get themselves the first blood. Alliance. Insania a little too far forward, as you see already with the trees cleared out. Not a lot of places for Insania to hide and play around. Has to be careful. That slow and aggression that this Lich enables is very, very powerful here in the early lanes.
I think this lane is extremely strong in general. Lich Beastmaster. If the lane you're facing can't kill boars reliably, there's just so much slow and passive damage that you will end up losing almost any exchange, as was apparent in this instance as well. The Morphlings also, you can see clearly struggling in comparison to, I would say, what he would like. It's not awful having 18 CS right now, but it's absolutely not even close to free farm yet either. But at the same time, I mean, the pressure bottom from Liquid is also working out pretty well against Nico, baby. So pretty even across the board, all things considered.
Yeah, with the way that these lanes are going, do you imagine both team supports are going to need to stay in these side lanes? Like, is there any hope for looking towards the mid, or Magnus and Brood, are these just heroes you don't really want to spend resources ganking early?
They're just there. I mean, if anybody ganks, it will be Alliance rotating in to try to kill with the RP, because honestly, right now, Liquid don't really have a way of killing mid. They need a level 6 on Willow or Mars to contain and kill off this mag. Treant can't gank in mid in general as a hero. It's just an awful place. There's no trees. It's hard to get off a good Nature's Grasp. So stick to the side lanes for now, for sure. Karkla's being very efficient on this Brood. He's played this hero a lot. He has this like repertoire of, I would say, some heroes that mid players right now don't tend to favor as much in both the Lone Druid and the Broodmother top lane.
Okay, it's got the waveform away, but Insania is not going to be quite as lucky. The living armor giving him a bit of safety is not enough as Alliance take him down a second time. The strength of this dual lane continuing to be showed. And Limp, as expected in the mid, as you say, as soon as one of these mids sort of steps away to go towards the neutral camps, pressure will be there onto the tower. As the sooner Limp's able to sort of take this mid away from Quakefer, the more it's going to allow him to then leave the lane and look elsewhere to help the rest of his team set up for kills in the side lanes.
And he really wants to pressure it right now because there's a siege creep mid. This is the first strong timing that Magnus has in the way of pushing the tower. So Quakefer being here on defense is already a little bit of an XP loss because now he can't get experience for the creeps that his Spiderlings are farming. At the same time, I love this from Limp. I think this is exactly what you need to do. If you have two mid heroes that both want to just push the wave and farm neutrals, if one of them is stronger in these kind of exchanges, try and go and take the other guy's farm, right? If he can't fight you back with the spiders, Limp is effectively negating one camp. And maybe he could have done this even earlier than he has. See him walking over to the other one now. Quakefer is paying good attention here. Still going to lose only one little one. Not too bad.
And with the way the side lane is going in terms of kills, obviously we've seen Alliance get the couple of kills on Insania. Is it much of a problem for Liquid that this bottom lane at the Mars, Dark Willow, it's not getting any action? Sure, Boxy's farming, but do you pick these two heroes expecting to find kills on the offensive in the start?
I don't think you expect... Willow Mars isn't actually that incredibly powerful of a lane, especially against Io's sustain. So I don't think Liquid feels stressed. I think they're just happy that they're giving Boxy a good game, which is what they needed. His laning stage is going very well. Surprisingly for me, actually, the Gyro is suffering a little bit more than the Morphling. I was not expecting that. Oh, there's a courier kill. That'll put some extra salt in the wound. So overall, I think both teams are pretty happy with this, but the lane that is going a little bit different than what I thought is definitely that bottom lane. RP mid, there's the rotation.
Let's see if they have the damage to take him. There's any further control, another skewer to slow him down, that'll do it. Alliance make the move, Fada will die to the spiders. See Limp on the run, there's Tiger with a bit of control. Curse Crown's going to tick in as well. TPs are coming over as Mikke wants to get involved, zips him with the waveform, and they have the damage to punish Limp.
Tiger's already level 6. 7:30 minutes in. I think he got the experience from the Lich kill. He TP'd in just in time, and that got him the 6 that honestly might have been necessary to secure this kill there. So very nicely done from him. It will cost Boxy a little bit of lane presence, so Gyro will be having a better time here. That's one of the benefits of forcing that rotation to mid, but 2-for-1 kill, I think you take that.
I mean, like, yeah, Tiger, he's come across this top lane. He's going to try and go on to 33. Frost Shield is out on him, but they've got a good amount of burst, and they'll take him down. Tiger, we've seen it so many times for this man, the plays, the way he knows how to win games of Dota has been so impressive in some of the previous matches, and already he's starting to be the playmaker that Liquid need, going from that mid lane to the top lane, getting these core kills for the side.
And he looks like he is going to build into a Spirit Vessel. If you're having a very good game on Willow, the hero can be pretty amazing against IO. You have the Terrorize against the Tether. You have, obviously, a hero that can build Vessel and solo kill cores, even. Even if they're being healed up by that Wisp, just all of that mitigation can be really, really powerful. So, yeah, Taiga's game is definitely the most standout so far. Everything else is kind of going according to plan, somewhat. And it will be a slightly slower game in the start, I think. Just both teams will want to ramp up a little bit. There's very limited mobility on Liquid's side. There's somewhat limited mobility on Alliance's side. Like, look at these support duos, right? Willow, Treant, and Lich IO. It's not your classic, hey, let's roam and trying to find a lot of kills, like a Shaker, for example. So it's all good. Time for Outpost, though. Let's see if Alliance, they don't have relocate, so they can't make this cute play where they take the bottom outpost and then relocate to fight for the top one. Looks like it will be the other way around anyway, as most often is the case. You try to take the enemy team's safe lane outpost, or maybe not actually. No, they're getting their own safe lane outpost. Looks like Alliance. Oh, Liquid are indeed making a move bottom.
They are. They dropped down the arena. They're trying to burst down Nico, baby. Follow there is ready for the help as he'll come across, turn it just onto Boxy as Boxy will fall. Tiger tried his best. They did use the Terrorize to push back Handskin, but it didn't matter. Nico, baby, was too tanky at this early stage of the game. They didn't have enough damage to bring down the Gyro, and they have given away a double kill to this Nico, baby Gyrocopter.
Yeah, that was not the plan for sure. And obviously it is a big damage cost for Willow to start terrorizing the IO. You have to remember that. Like, if Mars catches the Gyro, Willow needs to use all damage spells to get him down. He has Strength Treads, and I think he had a pretty high charge wand. So just that time alone, like, Treant is there, but this hero doesn't deal any significant damage in these kind of fights. It wasn't really enough in the tank. And now Relocate is online. So now the game changes a lot here for Alliance. They have the possibility of Roar into Relocate. You have RP into Relocate. So every lane on the map now for Liquid is a lot more dangerous to place a hero in. We might see this happen a lot now. What's happening mid is Insania is just going to be standing in one of the exposed lanes as Treant, pushing it out, sending out clarities, and then healing towers. Because you don't really want to place a core that can just get killed off. Fata. We'll see Taiga in the jungle. And run away.
Oh, man. Whoa.
There it is. But he missed it. Hello. Well, they did do the relocate play, Owen.
Yeah, they had the idea there, but the execution not quite. Limp, a little slow with the RP. As Quaitfa just walks out of range of it all. That's going to mean that for another couple of minutes now, they're not going to be scared at all.
That's an early diffusal.
They're getting aggressive onto him. Limp's mana has been burned. He's pushed back past the tower. Quaitfa won't quite be ready to dive any further, but still a bit of a painful misplay from Limp that will cost them potentially what would have been a free brew kill. And now bottom all.
Oh, okay. Let's take turns at missing ulti, shall we?
I was going to say, it's just the first game of the day. Players are warming up. As Boxy's still trying to fight this. It has got Insania coming in from the side. They're going to lead him with the overgrowth. In they go on top of the Gyro. They hit him back across towards the tree. They've got him down, Tiger, and he turns with Mickey's help. They burst down Handskin as well. Chain Frost bounces. They're coming back over. Oh, Tiger! So unfortunate there as it bounces to the neutrals and back through Insania. Does end up killing off Tiger, but overall Liquid will be happy as the Gyro is dead. Mid lane, Limp skewing Quaitfa into the tower. Quaitfa's got that ultimate. He's life stealing up. He's just trying to fight here onto Limp. He's going to chase this a little bit with the medallion. He's doing a lot of damage. Limp, he tried to mess around with the spider, but Quaitfa, he's going to have him. A couple more hits, that'll do it. Quaitfa gets the kill, despite Limp being the one that wanted to try and fight him. Now he's on the retreat. Nico, Baby, and Handskin have come in, but they don't have the control, and Quaitfa's going to get away with it.
Yeah, Beastmaster had cooldown on his TP. He could have absolutely saved and maybe even turned that into a kill, but he used it previously to TP mid when Koikfa made his first aggressive move, and he canceled that one. So that means, obviously, while that cooldown is in effect, you have a much higher chance of succeeding with these aggressive kills, and that's a really big one, too.
Oh, for sure.
It's a solo kill from one mid laner onto the other 12 minutes in. Those kills give a lot of experience in gold.
Lim's got to keep his cool from sort of that rough RP miss into skewing quite front of the tower and then dying to him. You know, Lim's got to get his game back on track. He's had a brilliant opening in terms of the farm that he's been having, but these sort of plays, they're not going to do anything to help his team.
Oh, this is a good item to get on Brood, by the way. He placed that mango tree. Brood has some very interesting options because of the free pathing with the webs. You can go and place a mango tree pretty much everywhere. I don't know if the selection here from Koikfa was that good. I feel like that's going to be found relatively fast, but it's for sure one of the best heroes to use it with. Insanio. They missed the skewer. I think he's still in quite a pickle.
Yep, seems to be. Violet grabs him back. And Insania does get punished for hanging around here. Close to Alliance's heroes. Just trying to do his best to create space. You've got Mickey still farming very, very well on the Morphling. He's had an incredibly good start. And it is going to be another one of those games where we're seeing Mickey just get this insane timing on the E-Blade.
Something to keep in mind, though, compared to other Morphling games that we've seen from Mickey, is this game he's working with some pretty hard lockdown, and they don't have any saves, right? They don't have the Oracle save that they've been playing with a lot of the time. They don't have something like an Astral or whatever could keep him alive. So if he gets caught by a Roar without being E-bladed, if he gets caught by an RP, even something like a Sinister Gaze later on, just that couple of seconds can do so much damage to you that even if you don't die, if you have to start morphing into strength, you lose so much combat potential early on. So definitely I would say this is, in terms of how he needs to play individually, this is a different game from what we saw yesterday on his Morphling, simply because of that Oracle not being there. Oh, Fada's in trouble.
Looking for a freebie, and there you go. Mickey turns in and pulls him back. Dominating now, Mickey. Getting all the space across the map, picking up kills. It's going to speed up this E-Blade timing. But for sure, yeah, overall, I think Liquid, their best hope in terms of keeping him safe, it's going to be down to Tiger, right? Making sure the Terrorize is there to cover Mickey if he does get gone upon. That's pretty much their best save to play around with.
Oh, Tiger's in trouble. He got hit by Boris. There's the stomp from the Centaur creep.
I feel a little scared about going any deeper. They do see Boxy show himself, and 33 is a little hesitant on trying to chase. They're happy with this. They're pushing Liquid away from the top half. Get Nico Baby the space to take this tower. He's got that Maelstrom done. He's working towards the BKB. And there's that timing. So 16-minute E-Blade from Mickey.
Really,
We've already seen the sort of the kills he's been getting without it. Now it's going to be even easier. If any sort of the supports of Alliance are caught out of position, he's going to be able to blow them up straight away.
Yeah, you're definitely looking at a potential Glimmer Cape on the Alliance side. Doesn't look like Io has it queued up right now. Currently sitting on that mech. Found the Essence Ring, so that's fortunate. Very good item on Io. I love to harp on that. But he's looking at a Holy Locket. I don't know if that's the way to go right now. It just feels like this magic damage from Liquid is super overwhelming, and you need some mitigation. Glimmer Cape for yourself, Glimmer Cape for your teammate. It's also a pretty good item against both Mars and Willow, so I think there's a lot of good things to be said about it. Top lane, 33.
Yeah, I'm going to have Mars coming in as well. Actually, I said that Boxy, he steps back, doesn't want to commit, maybe scared of there being backup behind 33, but it wasn't the case. He was alone, so Liquid will let that kill slip away. Down bottom, Limp. He smoked up. Mickey will be the big grab. He's in. RP there. He didn't get the shift on in time. There's the chain frost. They had the burst damage to kill him. No, they don't. Mickey, he's fine. He shifts into strength. He waveforms away. There will still be a missile connection. Alliance, they're going to try and chase this, but do they actually have the damage to get through more with that much strength built up? It doesn't look like they do. They back off. They know that they cannot get that kill. They'll turn towards mid. As now 33 was trying to play around with Koikfa, but backup is inbound. Tiger, he's on top of Nico Baby. The cast crash, set up the arena's down. Locks the three of them in. 33 turns with the roll onto Koikfa. Can they actually get these kills? As Liquid, that's still at full health pretty much. They stay on top of the gyro. Koikfa's trying to focus down Nico Baby. E-Blade bursts him out. Mika gets the kill. They'll lose Koikfa for it. As now, Alliance, can they have any further catch? They'll cut down the trees, but no further control. So it will just be the Nico Baby for Koikfa.
Oh man, when I watch IO, I can't take it on. He healed the gyro for like 1500. That kill took so long for Liquid, including their E-Blade. And it's a 1-for-1 trade that I think Alliance will take any day of the week. This is a level 16 Brood that you killed off, and you lost a level 10 gyro. It's a massive experience advantage. It's the death timer on the Brood. It's one of the heroes when, sometimes we talk about what heroes it really sucks to die on. And there's just some heroes where it feels like dying almost counts as 2 deaths, because when you die on Brood, you probably lost all your spiders. So you need to rebuild your army. You're a very snowball-reliant hero. And you're generally very high level, so it even hits harder because you're that far ahead of the enemy team. So Koikva's deaths are the biggest in the game. It's bigger than killing, for example, the Mag for Liquid a lot of the time. So he's got to be really careful. Now he has the BKB, 10-seconder. His farm is still obviously very, very good on this Brood Mother. But yeah. Brood for me is one of those heroes. You very rarely see Brood win a game if it has more than 5 deaths. It's just usually the pace of the game overtakes you. Like there's some hard lockdown on the enemy team or some better carry. It's obviously not that black and white, but this is definitely one of those games where you could see that happening down the stretch, that he's just going to get roared in a fight, or he's going to get RP'd and eventually just overpowered.
I mean, as you say,
look at Gyro. Like, look at all this heal. He got mech'd first, then he got essence ringed by the IO with overcharge running as well, and now finally they will pop him with this E-Blade coming in from Mickey at the end, and Taiga had a projectile in the air as well. I think he would have lived without the E-Blade, actually. And
for sure, yeah,
Hanskin didn't even use his items perfectly, I think. I think either it was the mech or the essence ring that only healed like 50% of what it could have. But it's a delicate balance where you also don't want to wait too long and end up not healing him, because there is a lot of burst potential coming from Liquid's side.
Oh, Liquid, they are straight back out, looking to fight, as you say, make use of that BKB, but Insania, he's focused first, there's the Terrorize. Taiga pushes back the 3 of them, and now Liquid can chase for more, but Limp, he's in, the RP, it catches the forms, and they're losing, Liquid is getting low, but the 33-4 is 2-0 on Liquid, buyback from Taiga, and Boxy, their focus handskin, Boxy finally goes down, Rika, but it's a slaughterhouse, both teams just losing heroes left, right, and center, as Limp cleans up the triple kill, he'll stay alive, they'll poke towards Quakefoot, but they cannot stop Quakefoot from taking down Fada.
Somebody won that fight?
I was going to say everyone was sort of dying there in that situation.
Everybody won. Isn't that a jolly outcome?
So it's only a 1k difference now with the lead for Liquid, but pretty much the same state as it was before. Both teams just throwing everything into that fight. I think some of the big winners being like Limp, obviously getting the triple kill. He survives. He's got a lot of money. The BKB is pretty much done. So
it is done, yeah.
So he'll have that one for the next one. We see here just an incredible mess of a team fight.
This is an awesome Terrorize. He gets all 3 of them in it, but this RP is even better. All 3 as well. All spells come out. The Chain Frost coming in. Morphling survived with so little health.
It looked like Mickey was going to die.
He was on less than 5% when that Chain Frost was about to bounce to him, but he still just managed to barely outlast that. If Morph dies in that combo, it's like a complete sweep from Alliance.
For sure.
So that could have, with that RP setup, that could have gone so much worse for Liquid. They should count their lucky stars that make it just... You can't survive with less than that in that situation, basically. But yeah, big winner of the fight, obviously the Magnus. Fortunate enough to get an Imp Claw, which is one of the really good items on these in this state of the game for Mag. You have the Empower, you get 24 damage for free, you get the guaranteed crit after RP.
Oh,
with a cleave bonus.
Well, I'm going to go for Roche. This is scanned out and spotted out as well, so Alliance know this is up. Obviously, Liquid know that there is an RP for a bit of time, so they feel confident going for this. They're taking it pretty quickly with Quake for Mickey. That Medallion, they take Roche down at a very good pace. Alliance, they are going to look to contest it. They send in the Centaur. Roshan's still not quite low enough for them to go in and try and steal the kill. Arena's going to be dropped down. Boxy trying to keep them out. They go Limp! He snatches the Aegis, slips in, and now with the relocate, Alliance, they can look to fight on. The Quake for BKBs backs off. But Limp, the perfect timing, doesn't get the kill, but he gets that all-important Aegis and forces Liquid back.
That is one of the biggest strengths of Beastmaster in action there. Hawk on the Roshan pit the whole fight. They knew exactly when to go in, and they communicated it really well. I love that defensive arena from Boxy to try to prevent them from going in, but perhaps the better play was to go aggressive. Like, run into the enemy team. You're probably going to die, but if you zone them off, they can't make this stealing play that you have to know it's coming, right? You know there's a Hawk. You know there will be some sort of skewer play or roar play to try to steal that. And beautifully done from Alliance. That's a big win.
Oh yeah, and
having that Aegis.
I think that the timings must have only just favored them because, as I say, when they started going for that, RP was not back up. So Liquid obviously felt that they had enough time to take it. And I think it obviously got to the point where they brought it so low. But at that point, RP was back online and he was ready to make that jump thanks to 33's vision.
Liquid did still get the kill, so they get the gold bounty, and that's obviously a net win because Alliance were there with all heroes, so they weren't farming anything on the map in the meantime. But yeah, I would say the Aegis clearly more important than that bit of experience and gold that Roshan gives at this point in time. I think that on Limp gives them some options for how to start fights now. He can go in without BKBing, he can force maybe an Arena, maybe a Terrorize, maybe an E-Blade, come back to life and then get the job done.
Yeah, Limp's got the money to pick up the Chrysalis too, so I mean we've already seen, you know, getting these RPs with the level that he has and the Echo Saber, he does a lot of damage, but now with the crit he's going to be able to start solo killing some of these heroes straight up in the RP if he gets that jump.
It's a good Hawk.
That gives them all the info that they need on this positioning down here from Boxy. He's farming around. We'll see what sort of move Alliance do want to make with that Aegis. They're showing Limp mid for now. Just holding onto the lane. Still, Liquid continue to get a lot of space for both of their big cores, both Mickey and Quakefet. Not having any trouble at all finding the farm. Alliance are yet to really sort of shut down the map and find ways to make it very hard for Mickey and Quakefet to safely get out and start hitting the creeps. That's Mickey. He's going for the big plays here. E-Blade into Hex. Or was that Lincoln's?
I think it's Lincoln's. I was like, oh,
that would be interesting. Off the orbit of, well, no, yeah, okay. Lincoln's is done.
Play for the other team.
Yep. They're going to need a few of them to play through that Lincoln's morph. They've already struggled to kill Mickey.
Yeah. Still, RP is a threat that he can't really itemize against with anything else than the standard Satanic, plus maybe a Butterfly to evade some attacks. But this will definitely help against the Roar. There are a couple of... Actually, there's not that many ways of breaking it, right? You could only really do it with Lich. He has to either hit any of his 3 single target opener spells, or it's the Roar. There's no Halberd, there's no Force Staff yet to break it with, but we might see that as Beastmaster's next item.
I think, yeah, your best sort of bet is catching him in an RP to start things off, and then we'll do that. And he goes to terrorize the Tiger! Again, making the safe place for Mickey. He can zip out! You gotta watch out for Tiger. This man, these terrorizes, as I was saying, this is the sort of save that Liquid, they don't have anywhere else in this lineup. Tiger is the only one that can do it, and he's ready for it every single time. The RP put to waste.
I would love a replay on that. I'm pretty sure Limp could have got that kill by pressing BKB. Terrorize is extremely telegraphed. You hear it's coming.
Oh, you're true. He does have a BKB.
I think they had that kill, actually, and he got greedy.
He could definitely...
He needed one more hit, right? Like, that was super close. So here it is. Now you're going to hear the Terrorize winding up immediately after this Bramble Maze comes out. Oh, he skewered.
It was mid-skewer.
Oh, he skewered into the Terrorize. Oh, no. Oh, man. That's a bit of bad luck, too. I feel him. I feel for him. It's a tough choice to make. If he BKBs, hits once more, and then skewers, that is a kill. But obviously, heads-up play from Taiga defending him there very nicely done. Oh, might pay for it this time. Really nice blink skewer play into that Centaur Stomp. And guess what isn't up right now? It's Terrorize.
Taiga, no way to escape this. Surely he's getting buffed up by the living armor, but a few more right clicks from them will do it. Tiger taken off, and there's 70 seconds without him, so a big winner to make plays. Meanwhile, Liquid, they're keeping the pressure up down bottom. Limp's trying to chase into the trees. He's found Insania, and this damage from the Magnus, far too much for these supports of Liquid to deal with. That's Limp, keeps himself on the top of his game. He's fired up now. After that missed kill on Mickey, you know that he's not going to make those mistakes again, especially when he's in a situation committing with the RP. You can expect Limp to be popping his BKB pretty early now in situations. Anytime he doesn't see Tiger, he's going to be ready to ensure that he doesn't get caught out by that counterplay.
Oh, that's a pretty good item against the Morphling. He didn't go Mantle this game, so now Mindbreaker has a lot of value. You get that guaranteed silence, so he can't get off the attribute shift. See who's going to carry it, though. It is going to be Limp for now. You imagine, does this work with Gyro's Side Gunner, the Mindbreaker? I'm guessing it does.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well,
But then you're
with
not
the
in control
Aghanim's,
of who it hits.
No, well,
That's
you
not great.
kind of technically are because it always hits the furthest away target. But
Right.
you're right. You're not really trying to play your position, so you're getting that proc on a specific target. But no, it would work with the side gunner.
I think it got scouted by the Hawk. He's going to chill out, back off a little bit. This is a big moment here. Everything is online for both teams. Alliance lost their Aegis actually, and Fata's going to try to blink out. Or TP out rather. Oh, Glimmer TP, just TP out, man.
Yeah, it works out.
No detection.
Nothing to go through that. And go for the TP cancel. Nico Baby's getting some space in the mid. Now Mickey's over, and Mickey queuing up that Aghanims here this game, so ready to continue these sort of flashy performances.
It's going to turn into Dark Willow and get that ridiculous Shadow Realm. Aghanim's on Morphling. It's nasty.
I mean, we've already talked about now Alliance's ways of sort of setting up and going for the catch. It's the pressure's on Limp to find the blink RPs, and then it's down to Heroes to sort of break through that Lincolns. And as we saw, Limp, he's queuing up the Bloodthorn, so he himself has an additional way to pop a Lincoln Sphere.
Yep. The thing about going this build on Morph with Ags is that you're a lot more magic damage reliant. Sure, you get the attack range, but the damage from... he's...
They found him!
He is dead.
And this time there's no terrorizing time. And Tiger tried his best, but the skewer away from Limp separated Mickey from any sort of backup being close by.
I'm honestly not sure I like the Ags yet in this game. I know the interaction with Willow is amazing, but you have to consider the enemy team has BKB on both of their cores, and they have all of this save from IO. Maybe sustained hard physical damage from both you and Koikfa would be better. Because when BKBs are popped, Mickey doesn't really do much in fights, right? Like, the E-Blade will have almost no effect, the Axe will have relatively little effect. I'll give him attack range, but no real damage increase. Oh, Insania. All right.
The ward's right underneath 33's nose. And 33.
Like, what the hell? Oh man, I thought he had a sentry there. That would have been a possible kill at least. No roar, but still, he has so much damage and slow. Could have got scary for Insania.
Tiger's game's going to get a lot more fun. He's exactly after that situation, he picks up a blink dagger. So now he's going to have the means to always be able to follow up the distance created by that skewer away that Limp's going to consistently go for when he finds these RPs on Morph. So Tiger has the chance of being in there in range with the Terrorize quick enough. And also hits his level 15, has the GPM talent, so he can now start working towards some of the big items.
Still will always be that BKB factor though, that they can't really deal with. The only counter that Liquid have is Overgrowth, and you need to catch him after he BKBs before he skewers. That's a tough ask. It's very, very difficult.
Yeah, but there's no doubt about it. Between the BKBs and now this completed Bloodthorn on Limp, there's a lot of things that Mickey's got to be incredibly cautious about. We've seen a couple of times he has been caught out presenting himself in the lanes at the front, and Limp has had the opportunity to jump in, set up with the RP, and kill him off. So Mickey's got to be careful.
Dire
That's Roshan, of course, up once again. Both teams certainly willing to fight around this point.
I love this from Alliance. They're smoking 5 seconds before RP is up, so they're trying to find the fight the moment it's ready. The enemy team is like, okay, RP is up soon, probably. Like, you don't have it timed down to the perfect second. And if you get jumped the moment it's ready, there's a very high chance you get caught off guard by that. So I love the attempt. They're not going to find anything, though. Liquid are making a smoke of their own, which might even turn out to be even better, as they will run into the IO Gyro down here, who, you know, are looking to make a relocate play to the top half. But since the enemy team is not there, they're getting a bit hesitant. And yeah, Hanskin.
They're not going to get the chance to. As Tiger, he's holding on to the Terrorize, looks to try and push Nico Baby back. He'll be off the mark though, so Nico Baby can still come across. The arena's dropped down. Boxy trapping in the missile slows down the effects of this Mars, trying to kill him off, but with the burst from Mickey, they get him. Lip on the back lines, commits with the RP off to Koikfa. Can they kill him in time? Koikfa tries to launch him with a crits there for Lip. They kill off the Spider, now turn their attention over towards Boxy. He's without his ultimate, he's trying his best to run away. The hammer's down, they've got them, but Insane cannot help. The hammer was off the mark, did not catch Alliance. As Limp, he's just cleaning them all. It's triple kill, turns to Tiger, ultra kill for this Magnus that Liquid are not prepared to deal with.
some really good spellcasting in that fight. I love the decision from Limp to RP the solo Brood in the back. It's one of those decisions that in the heat of the moment you might feel like you want to go for something better. First of all, this move from Nico Baby here at the Terrorize, he ran toward his IO, assuming that the Terrorize was coming behind him, and he was absolutely right. So that one missing from Taiga first off keeps Hanskin alive forever here with, well, until the E-Blade comes out, obviously, that combo, and he has the buyback to connect later. But it's this RP onto the Broodmother, really. That's just something Brood doesn't deal with very well, is getting BKB piercing stunned, and Alliance just have these solutions that it's difficult for Clarkfoot to play. I think the way they have to take these fights is if he runs in and takes an RP or a Roar, you have to have Insania there to overgrowth their BKBs so that he can stay alive during this route. If Brood dies for free like this, your Morph is not going to win the fight afterwards. He can't do it on his own. Mars has a full-on utility build. His damage is completely negligible with both Crimson Pipe, no Deso, no Ags.
I mean, he's queuing up the Radiance. Is that really going to do that much for him at this stage of the game? It's going to be a very late one.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Our Alliance bothered about it. We'll see if he changes it up because he's yet to purchase any parts of it. Does just have it queued in, but it never feels good buying a Radiance this late against heroes that they're not really going to care. Sure, I guess it helps you push out the waves a bit, but you've already got great abilities for that, and it's not really going to help you kill anyone. I'm
pretty sure Kyrus is just a superior choice in every way. Get that minus armor, get more damage on yourself. The armor is obviously nice, but it's not really like they're going on Boxy very much. There's like, okay, he's an aura bot. Let's kill the other heroes. Let him use his arena.
Well, Mikke's got the Aghanims. As we were saying, this is obviously something that was the plan all along for Liquid to try and go for this Aghs build, to abuse the potential power that you can get from turning into Tiger. We've just got to see how powerful it is, because now 8k down, it may be just a little too late for this build to have any sort of threat against these BKB cores. So Alliance, they are more than ready to hunt once more. RP back again, Limp leading the way. They're pushing in on the tower. Spiders will spot them out. Liquid know that they're here. And can they actually push them away with the Aegis on Nico Baby? He's very hard to take down. Hanskin's constantly there with the support. Keeping Nico Baby very, very healthy. Even with the Vessel down, they cannot stop Nico Baby from being able to just move forward on this bottom lane with the whole 5-man of Alliance is out, but Chogan Limp, he's in, Skewer back onto Boxy, Boxy the focus, Limp pots the BKB so he can stay on target, Boxy is gone.
And you saw that this was the perfect example of Morphling just not dealing damage, right? He got like 6 hits off with that Dark Willow form. Limp didn't care, he was BKB.
They'll try again to burst down Nico Baby, but it really does feel like the damage, it's an issue for Liquid. They just do not have a reliable way of taking a hero out of the fight right now as Alliance. They'll chase on forward. 33 is looking for Tiger. He has got the Roar. Tiger is trying his best to run. 33, can he get in range? He cannot. Tiger will find the blink out in time, but it means that Liquid are stepping away from this bottom lane. Alliance can resume pushing. And it just seems that Liquid, they are not ready at this point of the game. Alliance's lineup is just that much stronger.
And you gotta wonder, I mean, you go into this best of 3, right? And you're giving, in my opinion, Alliance, you're giving them their best hero. You gave them the IO. And you had a plan for it. Right now it hasn't worked out very well. And now you're in this dangerous late game situation where I think IO's just one of the best heroes in the game. Like, Relocate will always be a threat. Oh, I think he's fine top. He's completely fine, no problem. I wonder what the game plan was from Liquid here with giving that IO away. Like if they feel like one of the heroes is a hard counter or that the trade-off is good enough. The game was very close for a while, but eventually that one big team fight that Alliance just won just swung the game in a big way.
Yeah, it's getting largely out of control. I mean, we're seeing, Limp at the start of the game, a little bit rusty, a couple of mistakes. Ever since that, though, he has just been this beast moving around the map. He's finding kills now every time just with the blink, the skewer back. He doesn't even need the RP to kill Boxy that 2 times in a row. He's off the counter. Nico Baby shuts Quakefor down. He's going to try and run. He has got the BKB, so that missile will not threaten him. He's even just going to turn and go for the lifesteal. Doesn't mean that he still gets hit by the stun. He should have properly used the BKB. I guess he didn't have a TP, so felt that he was kind of in trouble either way, but
yeah.
Quakefor tries for the greedy play of not using it, and it cost him his life. The Spider's dead again.
I love that item choice from Gyro this game. I think it's perfect. You get another BKB piercing stun. You get a way of getting mobility in the fight. Get on top of whoever you want to get maximum value out of your Aghanim Scepter. Just the passive bashes in the fight are going to be super annoying too. And that kill alone is like insane value. Once again, you kill that brood. Koikva's game is kind of... You hate the situation as brood. It's the worst. Is when you have this good start, you die twice, and it's just all steam has just been blown out of his hero, and he just doesn't seem like he can get a grip anymore. And Alliance, they're going to force this, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you just look at these calls. It's the... Where's the damage going to be? How do you burst down Limp on Nico, baby? Every time, Hansken's going to be there, keeping them in tip-top shape, ready to push up. The Aegis will finally go, but Alliance, they know that there's still very little to be scared of as Nico, baby, stands tall, taking down this tier 3 down to half health. And Liquid, they're trying their best to push them off. 20 seconds until Koikva's back, but even when he is back up, it's very hard for him to offer that much at all in the team fight. They'll get the spear back onto the Magnus, but again, Hansken, it's just back up to full health. That's sort of the combo expended, and Limp is fine. He can push on. Hansken, he still has the cheese as well to help out his team, but they did it again. The Terrorize pushes some of them back. They're trying to focus down the Gyro. They've got the RP, knocking down Boxy. It's a back off for now. Alliance still skew away. E-Blade Burst isn't enough. Cheese heals the Gyro back up. The Arena blocks Limp for 33 in there. Focus the Magnus. Can Liquid kill Limp in time? They can. They get Limp. They go to 33. 33 goes to the BKB TP out. There's no magic community piercing stuns, so he'll escape. Liquid are able to hold, and they do get that huge kill on the Magnus.
That was a super good defense by Liquid. They did so many things right there. They poke and prod to force out all of IO's heals without committing too much, and then they can go for that big kill. And what started it all is this blink spear from Mars into the tower, just really nicely done. Here it's a reload.
There we have it, jump in with the Abyssal Blade, cooldown as well. Mickey's trying to come across and help him out. Gets in the E-play so he can't be right-clicked anymore. And in fact, that's enough to save him with the flat cannon stolen from Mickey. He's turning. Liquid, they're coming over. They're going to look to try and punish Alliance's aggression, but Hansken will take him back out with a relocate. 33 will be left behind. He got distracted, caught over in this attention that Alliance were trying to make happen with that aggressive play on Boxy. It didn't work out. Liquid again swinging it back a bit with another core kill.
And now, this is getting really exciting. Like, we got to wait for the next Roshan. That feels like where this game is going to be ultimately probably decided. The 40-minute shrines might be split, but maybe Liquid feel like they can get more. They have a 5-on-3.
They know that there's no relocate to sort of take Nico Baby back up to safety. They're bringing over Koikva, and they go Arena stop, but it doesn't catch either of them. It does separate them. Hansken's going to be pushed to the side. Nico Baby turns, commits with the Abyssal Blade onto Insania. BKB popped as well, but Koikva, he's punching back. Nico Baby trying with the TP, but the damage is too much. Liquid, they kill off Nico Baby, and in the matter of the last minutes, we see Limp, 33, and Nico Baby all get taken down. They'll lose Lich as well in the middle. They're starting to crumble. Alliance. Liquid, they're finding this newfound strength, and suddenly all these split plays from Alliance, they're going out alone, and they're starting to let this huge lead slip away from them.
Yeah, that was not... I'm very surprised that Nico Baby tried to take this fight. Like, they try to turn around. Sure, the tree end looks juicy, but you gotta know your IO is separated from you on the enemy side of the map. It's a 5v3 across the board on that map. There is gonna be a play from Liquid here, and just Alliance getting way too aggressive. They had such a huge advantage, and now it feels like we're almost back to a 50-50. Look at these graphs. Like, a huge dip. Alliance could have kept it cool. They tried to go high ground without their Aegis. If they wait longer, control the map, maybe get the next one, the situation could have looked a lot different, but suddenly Liquid are in firm control. They will get full map control now with this tree end as well, and they can get ready to claim the Roshan for themselves.
Oh, and in fact, he's been forced to BKB there. Tiger just starts playing around with him behind the tower, so a bit of timing where it's going to be hard for him to commit with the RP without the BKB. We've seen the counter plays that Liquid can make, and as these items continue to roll out for them, they will have more and more answers to that Magnus. Just down to a 3k lead now for Alliance in a game that a few minutes ago they were pushing outside of the base of Liquid, and it looked like Liquid were not going to have the chance to get back into this game. But Alliance, they kind of handed it to them.
I feel like there's been a couple of games in this tournament, and some teams have fallen more victim to it than others. This was very reminiscent for me of some of IG's high ground attempts, where you just kind of force it without maybe necessarily having the right tools. Also, a great heads-up play from Boxy getting that spear in the first place. But okay, let's see. This is a Another big moment. Oh, Tiger gets silenced immediately. He's getting the vision. He has buyback.
He may need to use it. Yeah, he's going to use it straight away. He knows that they have to fight around this Roach pit. Boxy goes in with the arena. He's surrounded the four of them. They're trying to kill off Boxy, but Boxy can step out. They look at the burst him down. They drag him in with the shotgun. They terrorize. Pushes the four of them back into the wall. 33 tried to go in with the roll, but there's no follow-up because the rest of his team have been pushed back. Friday now gets back in onto Tiger. RP committed just for Tiger, but it is a dieback. Takes Tiger out of the game for 100. Then looks to chase for more, but with the blink, Insania gets away. So they will push Liquid back. And they do only have the four of them up. See what Alliance can go in for more. Roshan was taken out, though, in the midst of it all. They're going to look for the aggressive relocate, see if they can catch anyone else outside of the base. They jump forward, but they won't get themselves on top of Insania in time. Another blink will keep him safe.
There were so many good moves in this situation from Liquid, in my opinion. This time around, Boxy, instead of letting them try for that Roche play, he did what he should have done last time. He jumped in aggressively, put that arena down, and Mika with a quick reaction to not get the two-man RP. RP only going on Taiga in that instance. Could have been huge if he got the Morph as well. Morph does not have the Aegis. It's on the Brood. And that could have been a big win for Alliance, and instead now it's kind of a draw, you want to say? Like, who got the Aghanims? So
That's right, who got the blessing?
did they give it to a Treant? No? Wait.
I'm imagining maybe it was just a refresher shard.
Was it a refresher?
And it might have got popped in the midst of the fight by the looks of it.
Oh, I thought Korkva had an axe in his backpack during that. Maybe he was swapping items around when I checked him. All right. Anyway. Oh, it is in the courier.
Oh, you're right.
Oh, they do have it.
They do. You're right. It's still in the courier.
They want to give it to Willow. Okay, so
Yeah,
they're just waiting for
give it
the
to Tiger. Yeah.
I kind of think the Treant one might be awesome this game too, though. Like, it's such a vision game. You're playing against Beastmaster IO. You could get those trees out, get an overgrowth on the heroes that are far away from you in the fight. But at the same time, he has a dagger, right? So, and Taiga probably has a big mental boost from winning that other game with his axe. So it's a confidence boost getting that item for his whole team. To put that on him. Will increase his net worth by 6,000 though. Can discuss whether that should be the case.
I guess either way, his buyback's on cooldown anyway,
Wait,
so it's sort of the price of it.
Wait, it didn't. Did that get changed? Am I stupid?
No, it should. It definitely should. Did it not?
I don't think that changed his net worth at all. They were 1k ahead a moment ago, Alliance, right? And now he equipped it and it was on the ground. Is it just considered owned by another hero that picks it up first?
That's a question for later. Yeah.
Limp has chi, or Boxy rather has chi. It's called Terrorize.
But he's in the Abyssal Plate. Oh. They got the control. Nico Baby commits. Make sure there's no chance for Boxy to pop that heal. And Boxy, he does not have buyback available. He's dead for 80 because of this. So quick plays from Alliance. Now they can look to push in. This is a huge window for them to try and go high ground again in.
They don't know, though. That's the thing. They have no idea that this buyback is not available. He does not have gold. If they've checked that he picked up this fresh Radiance, maybe they would figure it out, but there's no guarantee. Like, you can't feel certain that he doesn't have that 1,500 gold extra. I'm still confused about that axe. I wonder if anyone can help us out with that.
I'm sure there's people online sending the messages, but I know you're right. The Agnum's blessing, it did definitely use to increase your net worth.
I'm positive about that, like, no doubt. I just wonder if it got changed and I missed that change, or if whoever picks up the shard to begin with kind of owns the net worth until it is assigned, but it should go on the
it should have worked like that, but, you know, it's a feature.
Maybe Willow owned it already or something. Dude, I actually don't know. I'm confused. If you look at, hey, we can do some math, Owen. How about that? Well,
okay, yeah, let's go.
Let's look at Dark Willow's items. Blink Dagger 2250.
2250.
Vessel is like 5k-ish.
Okay, 7250. 9250.
Yeah, well, he does have the net worth then. But he had it before he picked it up, right? From the ground.
Maybe you didn't see what his net worth was before.
Oh, did he get the net worth because it was on his courier?
Yes, he would have. Oh, that's what it was. You were comparing it to when it was on his courier. There we go.
Okay.
We solved it.
Yay!
Yes, so the mystery is it's solved.
Everybody's face-palming like, we knew that, idiot.
Yes.
Spell Prism.
A nice bit of a pity clap from the crowd.
Thank you, crowd. They're like, finally figured it out. Uh-oh. Tiger's dead. They know this guy doesn't have buyback.
Oh, Limp. He's closing it. Ooh, he got it. He got it. Boxy's in with them also. He's trying to help him out. Mickey will be fine. He's healing up. They've got some stars to science. Have they got the damage? damage though. Mickey's being focused, but with the Crimson Guard, they've got enough buffs to keep Mickey safe. And now Mickey can look to turn. They'll go over to Fada. He's trying to hide in the trees. He'll sneak away. The bigger kill will be Limbo as Boxy and Quaitfa drag him back with a spear. Fada will finally fall as Liquid keep Mickey safe. Alliance, they committed, but they couldn't kill them off this time round. He was just too tanky.
Yeah, the relocate ended, right? And Io and Gyro left the building. He got the the attribute shift off this time as well. The RP, they are running into a little bit of a problem here, Alliance. If they can't get on top of him with both of their cores, he's not going to die. Like, these heroes don't deal the most insane amount of single target physical late game, right? Gyro is a bit of a spread damage core. Magnus, he doesn't have, you know, he doesn't have all that. He doesn't have a Rapier or an MKB, which he is queuing up right now, which will definitely help him do that damage. Perhaps the Butterfly played a big role there too. Always that a lot of extra EHP from Mickey.
I mean, and if they're not killing him there, when he has the Satanic, it's just going to be even harder to do so. Mickey,
it's tough.
He's going to start becoming this raid boss that the Alliance, they're going to have to find the perfect situation to catch him. They're going to have to find ways to get him alone.
I actually think it's a trap going on him at this point. When the Satanic comes out, I think you're better off killing the Brood or killing the supports if you can early on. Mickey will do a lot of damage, sure, but you have solutions. You have an IO with BKB.
Boxy was trying to push out this top wave. And Quaitfa, he's going to show himself.
They were not expecting Alliance to be there with all three heroes. It's a 3-on-5. Liquid probably felt really confident that Alliance would be scared, but they jumped on that opportunity. That was a super good read. Might have been aided by some hawk vision they had earlier, or heroes that they saw in this ward that is now fading over here just now in the enemy jungle. Disappeared. Might have got some vision.
You'd imagine Nico Baby is going to want to spend that gold before they look for action once again.
Now, what do you buy, though? Is it Rapier territory now?
I think okay, so he's queuing up the Satanic, so opting to tank up a little bit more himself, and he is committing for it. But they're still going to have the damage problems.
So you could swap out your treads to get the Satanic, but both you and I will lose a lot of move speed. It probably is the way to go, though. I think he needs all of his inventory. The Silver Edge has been very useful in killing Mars.
Well, I guess ideally he just needs to get the farm for the blessing for the Aghanims, and then he can free up the slot there.
He could free up the slot first.
That would mean that he is going to lack that buyback gold, though, so some big decisions really to be made by Nico Baby.
I doubt he'll do that. I think he's definitely going to play the safer way. This is a game that, I mean, there's high stakes, but it's also, you don't, probably as Alliance, you don't feel that pressured. You don't feel like you're in that position where you need to make an all-in play. You probably think this game is pretty even. The read I'm getting from how the teams are playing is that they both feel like we have a good shot at this. We're in a pretty good position. And Liquid should realistically not be feeling that way right now after what happened just 10 minutes ago, but, you know, that's Dota. One big mistake on the enemy high ground costs very bigly, as some would say, across the pond.
And I mean, I think for both teams now, it's going to be a waiting game for Roche, isn't it? For sort of the next respawn. Is there any reason for either of these squads to feel sort of a need to rush the ending of this game, or are both going to be confident with the scaling?
There's just so much crazy late game stuff that can happen that I feel like it's very hard to call a favorite. You always love seeing RPs late game with a potential refresher shard, and there is the roar too. Like, these BKB piercing stuns are powerful. At the same time, there's so many X factor plays that Liquid can do with this Morphling Aghanims turning into Willow, doing insane damage from BKBs are low. You have the Treant buying time with Overgrowth. He's probably going to maybe get a refresh as well later on to get those 2 BKB piercing lockdowns. Late game Dota is always crazy. Like, you can have your favorites all you want, but it's about who gets the jump a lot of the time.
Alliance starting to push back in towards Liquid on this middle lane.
The Illusionist Cave is so stupidly strong right now. They killed it. Made them work for it, though.
I mean, I think, you know, this is Alliance, this is their play at the moment. Just shut the waves out, keep checking out Roshan. Try and make sure the pressure's in against Liquid so you have that advantage. But there we have the spear back. Boxy, he's going to look to commit. They'll literally go on top of them with the blood for it. He dies immediately. They do get final return of Boxy. He'll buy back. Quaitfa committing with a BKB. Lim using the RP to hold back the spider. The terrorize is pushing back Nico Baby. And Sadia with a 4 reach out. hammer onto Limp. Limp, he's locked down and killed off. They'll get Magnus now. Turn on Nico Baby. Mickey sips it with a way forward. They're past the BKB. Nico Baby starting to heal back up with the Satanic. He's up to full HP. 33 is punching and pushing at Tiger. Boxy and quite for this, trying to fight onto Nico Baby now that the BKB's got by the turn. Boxy, he pulled back for this one. He cannot afford to go down. Mickey goes to Nico Baby. Nico Baby, nuke down. Buyback from the gyro. It's Fada that's dead for 2 minutes. It's 4 versus 5 now. As both teams utilizing the buybacks to keep this fight going around the Roche pit. But Liquid will have the number advantage. They'll back off Shrine up. Overall, Alliance using the more buybacks there. 3 buybacks expended by Alliance. Some very, very big ones as well. Both Limp and Nico Baby using buybacks. So there's this huge 7-minute window now where the Magnus and Gyro, they've got to be so careful. They die again, and Liquid could have the chance to walk down the lane and end the game. They need some big items.
That RP just doesn't cut it, right? Like you're this late into the game. If you solo RP like this, you know you're playing into buybacks. Even though Boxy's death looked in vain, they traded for the Lich immediately, and the BKB was used by Limp in that kill. So he got caught afterwards. He's gonna have to BKB again now, probably.
Yeah, we cannot mess around with this. On the side, quite from Boxy. They're trying for Nico Baby and Adsken. Boxy's getting low. Get the arena down. He's still alive. Backs away. They're living over the Crimson Guard. Keeps him up. Nico Baby has been disarmed for now. Quite for the BKB, but it now wears off. He turns back on top of Nico Baby. Another little use of the Abyssal Blade. Stuns quite for up. 33 with his own BKB, but the Curse Ground is still Nico Baby. The slow from the Nature's Graph. Quite for he's staying on top of this. Looking for Nico Baby. The break ball hits, so we can't rely on the passive to slow them down. No one else other than Tiger falling. But now with the Bloodthorn, as any other controller isn't quite able to sneak away with the webs. Roshan is back up. And now with the way the Alliance were able to get that pick off on Tiger, they're going to have Valdo back up in 20 seconds. And it will be their turn to look for some sort of action whilst Liquid do not have the numbers. That's
insane sustain. And it's only going to get worse. Hanskin almost has Satanic, and he has that attack tailored allies target talent. That was a lot of tease. It's going to become problematic for Liquid if they don't get the Vessel into this IO, I think, in these fights. And so what happened here was the communication from Liquid was pretty clear. Tiger was zoning the mag for the whole fight. Like, they were fighting way south of what you guys were seeing on the camera. And sure, Limp was going to win that fight, but they probably felt confident. Okay, Lich has no buyback. It's a 5-on-4 to begin with, and our support is keeping their mid away from the fight. They just had so much sustain. This IO Gyro just couldn't die.
And out they go, Alliance. They're hunting Limp. Goes for the drive by the Abyssal Blade. They're focusing Mickey, but the BKB's out. Look at the arena now. RP is there. Mickey is in trouble. Gets pushed actually out of the arena by the hole. Mickey will be fine, and now he can tell with a flat cannon. Boxy's the focus. Boxy in trouble. Insania drops down the hammer, but Boxy's already dead. They lose the Mars. As Alliance, they want more, but so does Mickey. Comes back in with another adaptive strike again. Shifting it a straight for Skewer. Have they got the damage? Mickey is still alive. A fire cuts out for Quite for Mickey. 1-4 though. As a triple kill, Nico Baby.
Oh, can't die here.
He comes out on top. Quait's just got to try and draw them away. His BKB still on cooldown. He's hiding, but they're going to run. The missile, it's going to connect. 20 seconds, no BKB. He's running, but here comes the little relocate to close the gap. In with the Abyssal. Quite for dead without buyback as well. He's gone for 2 whole minutes. As Alliance, they've got the room now to push into the high ground, or they can look to play it safe, go for Roshan. Both Mickey and Insania do have buybacks themselves, but over a minute where there's no Boxy and no Quite for the fight.
And there was the money RP, right? This time you get 2 heroes next to your entire team, and sure, Morphling doesn't die, but the fact that you zone him out of the fight this early and he needs to reset, you get the time to get the Mars kill, you get the time to kite around the Brood, and then Morphling does go for this re-engage. I love the confidence from Nicky. I think it's a hard call to make here. If you just flat out back off, you know you're selling your teammates. He tries for the kills, it doesn't work out. This buyback though, that's the big loss. If Korkvel leaves that fight, maybe it's not too big of a deal. I mean, it is, but it wouldn't have been a disaster. This was disaster territory.
And we've got the big action now. Nico Baby ready to push in with that Rapier.
Rapier Aegis, Satanic IO. All right, let's keep an eye on Gyro's HP in this fight. Let's see if there is any way he dies.
They have to get the IO out of the fight.
They need a spear. Hey, I think it's the way to do it.
They want to try and hold on to these buybacks, make sure that they don't have to use it straight away from Insania. But actually, Mickey, he buys back with 9 seconds left there. I feel like, did he need to do that? He could have waited the time.
Yeah, probably. It's a high pressure moment though.
I guess so. I mean, sure, season 2 what's going down.
Just here.
See if they can do it a second time.
Is Tiger going to do it again?
Limbs coming in Abyssal Blade onto Tiger. Tiger, he's been lowest. He's trying to get out with a fear from Fana, drags him in, he's gone. Moxie drops down the wall, the overgrowth, trapping the three of them. They pop the BKBs. Mickey looking at what's Nika maybe jumps across with that damage from the rapier. He's tearing through Moxie. Mickey's in trouble as well. Wave falls away from Limb. Locks it there with the RP. Mickey is dead. GG is called, and Liquid, they will lose this game as the Lights are able to push it out with that final siege. A back and forth game, crazy action from both teams in the team fights. Alliance, they had the lead early, they let it slip away, but they were able to reclaim it, get back in, and once again we're seeing these cores that can get away with buying the rapier. It just allows them to close things down. Suddenly there's this huge damage offset that Liquid weren't ready to deal with.